Welcome back to the Sports Perspective TV viewers and subscribers. As always, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate you taking your time out to watch the video and interact with the video as well, whether it's with your likes or your comments, sharing your thoughts, right? So really appreciate it. And yeah, just not really appreciate it, right? So in this video, hold on. So welcome back to the Sports Perspective TV viewers and subscribers. As always, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate you taking the time out to watch this video. And as always, it's much appreciated. The interaction is welcomed and appreciated as well. Right. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the test match between the West Indies and South Africa. The first test match is finished. But there was some brilliant performances on the fifth day of the test match. So we're going to be sharing the scores with you and also discussing how the West Indians performed, especially Athanaze. He played a brilliant innings in the match. So just stick around to the end of the video, why we do all of these things, right? But before I get into the details, as usual, YouTube formalities, just take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. These are just simple ways you can support the channel, but it also, when you hit the like button, it shows YouTube that you like the content that's being produced, right? So just take a quick second to hit the like button. So with that out of the way, now let's get into the details of the match, right? So on the fifth day, South Africa, they started the day on 30 without loss, having a lead of over 100 and something. Looking to set a score, put a decent total on the board, where they can then put West Indies into bat and possibly bowl West Indies out and win the match. Right, I must say this match was rain affected, as I'm sure, or if you're not familiar with how the match went, it was rain affected on quite a few occasions, right? But nevertheless, it still, had an exciting 5 days play, right? So South Africa, like I said, they started on 30 without loss, and they were able to get to 173 for 3. They cleared, right? Which meant that they had a lead of about 290. So West Indies needed, I think, 297 to win the match, right? South Africa declared just before the lunch break and put West Indies into bat, right? Just before lunch. And I must say, West Indies did start out a bit shaky. So as far as bowling for the West Indies, let me cover that as well, because that's also connects to. So Joel Warrican took 2 wickets for the West Indies in South Africa's second innings, right? And Shamar also took a wicket, right? So Warrican ended up taking 6 wickets in the match, right? On his return to Test cricket. So a huge shout out to Jamil Warrican for that. Criticized a lot, by myself as well, but he did step up and show what he's capable of doing, right? So and if there's anything about me when players perform, I'll always commend them, because when they don't, we criticize them. So a huge shout out to Jamil Warrican, right, on his brilliant bowling. So getting to the West Indies batting now, the West Indies did start out that inning shaky, losing captain Kraig Brathwaite without scoring, early in their innings. He was Maharaj, got him out, so he didn't score. And the West Indies lost their first wicket without any runs on the board, and it looked as if, it was going to be another one of those performances where the batsmen just let us down again and allow the opponents to win, right? Mikael Louis also, he got out cheaply this time. So this is actually the first innings Mikael Louis is playing in his shortest career where he hasn't made it into double figures, right? So he got out for 9, was out by Rabada, right? But then, so when Louis got out, the score was 18 for 2, right? And didn't look good for the West Indies, I must say, But then Casey Carty and Athanaze, they stepped up and put on a good partnership, right? To get the West Indies out of a bit of bother, I would say, right? And so the partnership between Carty and Athanaze was 46 runs, you know, and that kind of put West Indies out, like I said, out of a bit of a bother, you know, from losing to early quick wickets, right? So I must say a huge shout out to Casey Carty. You know, he made 31 right before he was out by Maharaj as well. You know, but it's improvement, you know, in that number 3 position, you know, compared to what we were getting from Kirk McKenzie, right? If it was Kirk McKenzie, then more than likely that would have been, you know, 3 quick wickets for the South Africans, you know, putting the West Indies under more pressure and giving the South African bowlers a lot of momentum. So Casey Carty, you know, in his return, it was actually his debut in Test cricket, right? But he will return to the West Indies team, right? But debut in Test cricket, and he did relatively well, you know, scoring 41 in the first innings and then 31 in this second innings. You know, would have loved if he converted any of those starts to at least a half century, but nevertheless, you know, it was brilliant. He scored a bit of runs, you know, like I said, improvement on the production that we were getting from the team in that position, right? Then you have Athanaze, you know, and Kavem Hodge, you know, so they also batted well. So West Indies were 64 for 3, you know, still looking still a bit worrisome, you know, considering how many overs were left in the day's play, right? But then Hodge and Athanaze also put on a good partnership as well. You know, they put on a 63-run partnership, right? And that kind of took the wind out of the sails of the South Africans, right? So Hodge, he made 29, you know, before he was out caught by Maharaj as well, you know, and when Hodge got out, the score was 127 for 4, right? After 34 overs. So there was still quite a bit of overs still left in the day's play. But again, you know, that 60 odd runs partnership, you know, was definitely helpful for the West Indies. Then you have a Jason Holder who finished on 31 not out. You know, him and Athanaze also put on a good partnership, you know, call it a 55 run partnership, right? To pretty much, you know, ensure that the West Indies would not lose the match, right? But the performance of the innings, right, was obviously Alec Athanaze. You know, he scored a brilliant 92, right? He was the match saver. You know, it was his innings that really held it together for the West Indies. Ensured that the South Africans did not run rampant and win this match. So huge shout out to Alec Athanaze as well. Unfortunately, you know, he got out again after getting close to the 100. Very unfortunate for him. You know, would have loved if he got the 100 because he batted well. You know, he definitely deserved to get that 100. But, you know, no matter how much you deserve it, you have to bat well and concentrate for long periods until you score that 100. And unfortunately, he got out on 92. You know, this is his second innings. You know, remember he's 82 against England, and now he's getting out for 92 in this match against South Africa. But so unfortunate, but it was a brilliant innings by Athanaze. He played some brilliant shots. You know, he played the spin of Maharaj really well, sweeping and reverse sweeping often. You know, kind of nullifying the turn that Maharaj was getting, you know, off the pitch by playing those sweep shots. So he made adjustments to the way he batted, you know, compared to from his innings in the first innings, right? And that you love to see that for batsmen, you know, making adjustments, and the adjustments that he made, you know, led to him having a successful innings. This 92 is his highest score in Test cricket so far. And looking forward to him doing bigger and better things for the team, you know, moving forward. So all in all, you know, brilliant batting performance. Well, a decent batting performance by the team. So West Indies ended on 201 for 5, you know, and when stumps were called. So they saved the match, right? They drew the match. And coming off the back of that 3-0 series loss to England, then this is definitely creditable. And we must commend them for at least getting a draw in the match. I must say, though, that inexperienced middle order that we've been criticizing so much, you know, of losing their wickets cheaply in the England series and even in the first innings as well, you know, that was what saved us the match today, along with, right, so between Carty, who was on debut, Athanaze and Hodge, you know, they held their heads down and batted for a decent time, getting starts and ensured that they contributed to the team, you know, not losing, you know, fast wickets as we're accustomed to seeing. So we must commend that the middle order as well. They're inexperienced, but you know, they held their heads down and batted. And like I always say, when they don't perform or when they show that lack of experience and get out cheaply or get out playing stupid shots, we criticize them. So we're gonna definitely commend them when they do well, right? So and then the experience of Jason Holder as well, you know, it definitely proved to be valuable for the team in the second innings as a team were playing for the draw. You know, that innings that he played with Athanaze, you know, ended up being on 31 not out. You know, his experience definitely came into play and proved very valuable for the team. So a huge shout out to Jason Holder as well on his the way he batted in this innings. So again, so the match was drawn. So just a quick recap. So scores in the match, you know, South Africa, they made 357 and 173 for 3 declared. West Indies, they made 233 and 201 for 5 to draw the match, right? So shout out to the West Indies team, you know, hopefully they can improve on this performance and win the next match in Guyana and win the series. But that's all I have for you in this video. If you're not subscribers, you know, as always, thank you for tuning in. Do remember to share your thoughts in the comment section. You know, what do you think about the way the team performed? And like the video as always, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.